But when you go to the ground, to the last man, you will find somebody singing a Kyagulanyi song down there. We need to elect a civilian leadership for the first time in this country. People power movement is very deep rooted, and it is the only political actor at the time that shakes the regime in every part of the country, irrespective of whether it is rural or urban.
We are in Northern Uganda right now. Yeah, we are not in the central region where you've been seeing us, and we are in Amorata district, is it? Yes, Lango sub-region. Yeah, that's where we are right now, not in the central part of the country where we've been most of the time. This time we've decided to go and see what's going on in the other part of the country, and we are here. And this side, we've decided to meet someone. And this person, right now, when you reach Lango sub-region and talk about his name, everyone looks at him like a godly figure because of what he did. Just to remind you a bit, this is the person who was shot, a people power activist who was shot while trying to fight for the people's rights, people who were being displaced from Lake Choga. He was fatally injured, but luckily he did not die, and he's still alive. And today he's being seen as someone, he's a very influential figure in the Lango sub-region. And today we've come to talk to him and talk to about different issues, people power, his life, how has he moved on, everything. Allow me to introduce you to Mr. Okot Bitek Jr. All right, Mr. Okot Bitek, how are you right now?
I'm doing much better now. I'm regaining my muscle strength, though a bullet is always a bullet.
Yes.
I had 3 bullets. The first one was on my right hand
Yes.
thumb. The second one was on my knee. The third one was on my femur bone. However, I will need to do a surgery, but I need to do it much later after the 21 elections, because I don't want to get back on bed now before that election. But generally, I am much better. My resolve is even much more stronger than before.
Okay. Briefly, can you tell us why you were shot?
The preamble is that I was shot on the 22nd May 2019. Yeah. It is now a year. I had organized persons who had been brutalized in the lake, persons who had lost property, persons whose women and children were raped by those who are operating on the fish protection unit in Lake Kyoga, to petition the government, to petition court for compensation and bringing to book the culprits who did this. But little did I know that on the fateful day that meeting was supposed to happen, there was heavy deployment at the venue. I was put under house arrest in my home, which is in town council. Yeah. And then I escaped and came back in the evening at about 7. I think in their briefing they knew I was still within the district. Yeah. They started trailing me by around 7, and I was shot at 7:45. For sheer reasons, the sitting members of parliament are all from the movement. The district chairperson are all from the NRM, and I had brought a new wave of the people power movement in Lango, and also fighting for the rights of the people was also another thing that beefed up all these forces to gang up to finish me off. And it was not a shoot to dismember me or to dismantle me. It was a shoot to kill. And that is basically, it was an attempted assassination.
Yeah. Basing on your story, it was a shoot to kill mission. It was an assassination.
Yeah, sure.
So how did you survive this?
Oh, one would say it is fate, and the other person would also say it's God's will. A single bullet kills. Yes. 3 bullets to survive, then, I mean, somebody would want to think it is supernatural, it's God-given that I survived. After being shot, the soldier who shot me one Tumukunde Moses rather, stood over me to confirm whether I was dead. But because I drove from the dark roads to the middle of the town, he didn't have enough time to confirm death. But he stood over me. I didn't realize that I was still breathing. He would have put the killer bullet. But because the blood had swept my right hand and it was all over my body, he thought maybe he had shot my head. And that is why he never had the next bullet. And then in line with that, that very night, I was driven to Amai hospital. And I was lucky that the doctor who was in Amai was my classmate at Makerere University. He gave me first aid, and then there was blood transfusion immediately that tried to stabilize me because I'd lost a lot of blood. Then the next day I was rushed to Kumi Orthopedic Hospital, and Dr. Ekure is a very seasoned orthopedic surgeon who took me to the theater. We took so long in the theater that I almost died in the theater, but thank God I came out of theater alive, and I stayed in hospital closed for 6 months. And coming back from hospital, I've started. It has not been easy because I couldn't walk, and practicing law as an advocate, going to courts was not easy because I couldn't walk. I was always on a wheelchair, and then COVID-19 came. So, first of all, probably they could have disorganized my economic base, but my political capital is so big at the time. Yeah, sure.
Okay, Mr. Okot.
Yes.
From what I've heard while coming here, you are going to stand for Member of Parliament of this constituency.
Choga constituency.
Yeah, Choga constituency. And my belief is that you are standing for this post because you were shot by these people. And from what you have told me, the people are in this area are all from the NRM. So is this one of the reasons why you are standing for Member of Parliament? Is it like mockery to the regime, or there are some other reasons?
I've been in the youth wing of a renowned political party, Forum for Democratic Change, before the People Power movement came in. Yeah. And before 2016, I was a guild president on an opposition ticket, the Forum for Democratic Movement. So I would not say it is out of vengeance that I want to contest against the movement. So my orientation was already different. And then two, there is a leadership vacuum in Amolatar. Amolatar, after the 2016 election, led in the fight against the removal of the age limit. And if you so remember, the seconder of the motion, actually the mover of the motion in Parliament was Magezi, seconded by Balieko and Honorable Ruth Dorina Mule, who comes from this constituency. And we were very bitter as young people that she would have betrayed us as young people. If you remember, the sitting member of parliament was assaulted here, and they accused me and 5 other councillors of having mobilized youth to assault the sitting member of parliament. But it was an expression that, you know what, you have touched a fundamental grand norm, the constitution, that we never wanted people to touch. So I made that was way back in 2017. I was only shot in 2019, meaning the ambition to run was already built up as way back in 2017. And then secondly, you guys know very well that Lango sub-region has been a nursery bed to feed the leadership in this country. We have had the likes of Dr. Paulo Milton Obote coming from here, the Cecilia Timogwal, the Okuli Parks, the Ben Watchers. These people are since aging off. But a new breed has come up in the likes of ourselves that must take the vacuum that has been created by these political guys getting out of the system. So we need to fill in the space, and we cannot, you realize that before Doreen or Okello Anthony coming in, the former member of parliament was Honorable Jock Bileo. He was on FDC ticket. He led Kyoga constituency for 17 years. And so the sentiment, the opposition sentiment is still strong in this constituency. And when people moved to the movement and voted these people during this mass money sweeping in 2011 and 2016, people realized that we never gained anything after moving to the movement. We think we should resort back to our former roots and now have awakened up the spirit of opposition in Lango.
Being that you have been on the opposition since university,
Yeah.
why did you choose to come with People Power? Because from university you were working with FDC,
Yeah.
but right now you are with People Power.
Yeah.
Why did you choose People Power?
The nexus between the FDC that was then under the leadership of Dr. Kizza Besigye and People Power movement was very apparent, because first of all it was action oriented, it is activist, and it was a pro-people movement. So along the way, the movement itself, the Forum for Democratic Movement, started having issues in their bedroom. And we, as persons budding up for political leadership, we never wanted to be mixed up in the confusion that was in the party at that time. You saw the Muntu faction coming up, the Besigye faction, the Muriat faction. Yes. So we wanted something new that would define the future of this country. But I mean, if they are all forces of change, we can always work together with them. That is it. But I feel at the time, a movement, and I'm happy that Honorable Kyagulanyi has decided not to register the People Power movement as a political party, and it has remained as a pressure group, because it is more tailored to sweep across the country, and that is in line with the recent spring of revolutions in Africa, and we think that it can only be the boat that we can use to usher in a revolution in such a dictatorship, which is in Uganda at the time, a regime that has served for 35 years. You cannot be a very predictable force, because if you are a political party, you're very predictable. You have structures that can be easily bought off, but the movement is ambiguous. It is amorphous, like amoeba. You cannot find its structures, so you cannot penetrate. If you want to buy, then you must buy the whole population. Yeah, you can't buy the whole population.
You've told us People Power is the boat that is going to usher in a revolution in Uganda. But are we seeing this revolution anytime soon, or is it very far in the future? Because, like, okay, I want you to tell me your opinion.
Yeah, like I told you before, the movement is felt by everybody. Everybody have to perform their pieces to build the movement, and that is only where revolution can always happen, when everybody feels it and that it is they're part of the movement. So that is why People Power can do that. And then two, I being in the helm of leadership, I'm speaking for my part that a revolution can happen because I am pushing, or any other person will push for that to happen. And like I told you before, that a revolution itself is a political answer. The Kelsen theory. If somebody has done law, you will understand the Kelsen theory of law. That the moment you displace the old order, a new order comes in, and the new order in itself would be legitimate government. So such a pressure group is capable of establishing a new order, and then the new order would be recognized as a revolution. But should the new order fail to defeat the old order, then it becomes a coup d'etat. I mean, say it would be like a rebel movement or and the rest. Okay. Sure.
Mr. Bitek, on this question, I want like your opinion. When you look at Honorable Kyagulanyi, do you think he has the capability to dethrone the incumbent, like Mr. Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who has been on the presidency seat for over 35 years? And if possible, how can he do that?
Robert Kyagulanyi is very unique a player in the politics of the time. I know you are aware of what happened in the United States when Donald Trump won the election. You are aware of what happened in Madagascar when Roger Malina won the election. He was a musician from a background. Oh, you are aware of what happened in the UK when a man little known like Boris Johnson won the election. The wind of change that is sweeping over the world is that the generation is changing, and their whims, admirations, and ambitions are changing. So persons who are elected in office are mostly persons of celebrity status, and persons who probably come in with something different. Donald Trump was not the finest person compared to Hillary Clinton, but the populace, the common man in Texas, had to vote him in office. So what Kyagulanyi comes in round with is his capacity to mobilize that last person, because what lacked in most of these presidential candidates is that they were known in urban areas and the rest. But when you go to the ground, to the last man, you will find somebody singing a Kyagulanyi song down there. So meaning he is on the lips of every common man down there. So he only needs packaging. Bring a few intellectuals, persons who are seasoned around him, which I am happy he's doing, to make sure that the movement is given an intellectual fitting. The movement is given a package of a regional fitting. The movement is given a financial might. But his character, his figure alone brings people inside.
Mr. Bitek, when we talk about your name here in Lango sub-region, sir, you are like a godly figure, I won't lie. People look at you like a godfather. So, but we want to know like your background. Who is Okot Bitek Jr.?
Okot Bitek Jr. is a young man from Lango sub-region. Both my parents are Lango by tribe. They do not come from very rich backgrounds. We are middle income. My dad is a retired civil servant, a teacher. My mom is a simple housewife. But the family invested into farming, commercial farming, that is paddocking and crop production. And here where we're taking the interview is the farm for animal production, right when you go there. I was educated on that. I went to not very good schools, but I came out of it. I went to Amosha SDA primary school for my law primary school education. Then all level I went to a school within here called Apuri Senior Secondary School, which was being headed by my father then. Then A level I went to Gombe Senior Secondary School, where I scored 25 points. And then university, I was admitted to Makerere University, where I pursued bachelor's in law. And then later on, immediately I finished, I joined Law Development Center for a postgraduate diploma in law. And upon finishing, immediately I was absorbed into private practice as a private practicing attorney in Gulu. And when I was being shot, I was in Gulu. And up to now, I'm still there. But I mean, we are nearing electioneering period in time. And so my engagement between now until 2021 is going to be taken up as a full-time job, is to win the election and mobilize for the movement in the whole of Lango sub-region. And after sorting out the leadership vacuum in Lango, and then we can think of other factors or other things to sort out at that time. Because as a private practitioner, I can just wake up and go to court and represent a client and do that.
Okay. Mr. Okot, I want you to give us like your last remarks, like closing remarks to basically to the people of Lango sub-region.
The people of Lango, there is a common saying that we are a group that has been in taking part in every leadership that comes in this nation. And surely this time is a golden opportunity to have one of our very own partake in the leadership of this country. And this would be an opportunity to go where the national cake is being shared, and then we don't cry from out that the resource basket has not reached the people of Northern Uganda. So we need to go to elect persons who can make sure that there is an equitable distribution of resources and protects the common man, protects the dignity of the people. And a man, we need to elect a civilian leadership for the first time in this country as Lao, so that we can redeem our image of bringing in independence, and then we can also bring in civilian leadership in this country and reshape the democracy of Uganda for perpetuity.
Mr. Okot, there is word that has been going around that people power is very strong in urban areas, but when we come to these areas, like areas far from the central and Kampala, people power is very weak. What do you have to say about this?
Oh, politics is a game, yes. And being a game, the state has always had its machinery. The propaganda machinery is so inbuilt that that could be one of their propaganda to hoodwink the unsuspecting persons. The people power movement is very deep rooted, and it is the only political actor at the time that shakes the regime in every part of the country, irrespective of whether it is rural or urban. We've had elections in by-elections, both in urban and rural areas, but we've felt the presence. And had it not been that the movement is very popular, you saw during consultation that was in West Nile. We tried in West Nile, we tried in Gulu, yes, and then Lira. You saw the crowds that were coming in the movement. And in Amolatar, you've equally seen the people are aware of the movement. And Kyagulanyi is very, very popular in Lango sub-region. We only need the movement to reshape itself, to create more visibility in the rural area. And creating visibility for now, I think the movement is aware, it knows what can create visibility. We need all those paraphernalia, those that define the movement, the T-shirts, more presence basically of the movement. Let us have the movement pick boots away from the urban areas where they already know they have assured support, and they come and instill confidence, because there is support here, but there is no confidence in coming out, because you feel that the system will come hard, shoot you, there are no cameras, and then you will go unabated. So the movement should come in because they fear shooting the figureheads, and that is when confidence will be in our electorates to vote and protect the victory. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, all right. That was Mr. Okot Bitek Jr. Yeah, we are here in Amorata district, Choga constituency, where he's going to stand as a member of parliament come 2021. Yeah, so the people of Amorata, you know the man to tick on the ballot paper. Right about now, Damba Eric is my name. I want to thank everyone who has been with me. Yeah, thank you for watching. Basically today has been English, so ngena kunsonyiwamu. Okay. Leka njogere n'Oluganda because tubadde yeah, olwaleero omugenyi waffe gwe tubadde naye abadde wa Luzungu nnyo, so mujja kunsonyiwa Oluzungu nange yeah, omusajja nzikizaayo Oluzungu lwange lwe mbadde maze ebbanga soogera. Naye nga yeah, tubadde n'omukulu Okot Junior nga tubuulira basically people power ekola etya mu Lango sub-region, then n'ebyamutuukako twategeerako nti bamukuba amasasi ng'agezaako okulwanirira abantu abali bagobebwa ku nnyanja eya Kyoga. So ebyo byonna olwaleero bye tubadde tunyumyako mpozi n'ebintu ebisobola okukolebwa people power okulaba nga eyongera okunyweza amaanyi gaayo mu byalo, kubanga wano kyetulabyeko kiraga nti people power weeri era abantu bagimanyi. Just abantu betaaga kati kulaba nga bafuna tukiyite confidence yanga yewe confidence. Abantu betaaga okubeera nga bafuna baagala okwekkiririzaamu. Saa zinene abantu baagala people power naye nga babulamu kiri eri nti bakyalimu ekitengo nga bwe bakiyita mu lulimi lw'ennaku zino. Okay. N'ebigambo ebyo Damberege amanya gange sagala nnyo kulwa wano eno. Ngenda basaba mbasiibulire wano eno. Tukwatagana omulundi ogudako. Teweerabira subscribinga bw'oba wakalaba video yange eno omulundi ogusooka. So no sharing abantu abasinga bagende nga babimanya. Tujja tubunyise enjiri buli wamu. Mwebale nnyo, mwebalire ddala.